Am I the asshole for ruining my cousin's wedding by exposing his stolen valor? Okay, so this happened recently. So my cousin Brad, 29M, has been a veteran for the past 5 years. He's got the Purple Heart, combat tours, the whole bit. Now, his fiancée, Sarah, was really into it. She'd post about her hero boyfriend all the time on social media. Problem is, I know for a fact that Brad never served. We grew up together, and the time he claims to have been overseas, he was working at GameStop and living in his parents' basement. I have photos of us going to Comic Cons and stuff during the time he was supposedly deployed. I didn't say anything because family peace, but at the wedding reception, Brad gives this tearful speech about serving his country, and the brothers he lost and how they had his back. Sarah's military dad was crying. Other guests were standing and applauding. It made me sick. When Brad asked me to say something, I stood up and I'm like, Brad's always been great at storytelling, but I think we should focus on the real Brad, the guy who spent 3 years perfecting his Call of Duty KD ratio while living at home. Dead silence. Sarah looked confused. Her dad looked angry. Brad tried to laugh it off, but I doubled down and mentioned specific dates when he was definitely not deployed. The wedding basically imploded after that. Sarah's family left. The marriage might be over before the honeymoon. My family isn't speaking to me right now. They say I destroyed his life over a little white lie. Brad's parents aren't speaking to me, but Sarah's dad actually thanked me later via text. So, yeah, am I the asshole for ruining my cousin's wedding by exposing his stolen valor? Let's get into it. Okay, OP. I'm giving you the exact same advice I would give to someone who stole valor. Get it out of your system. OP, you absolutely did the right thing here. And it sounds like you were very restrained with this. You could have gone much farther. You could have exposed him online. Could have gotten the local news involved. Instead, you just embarrassed him at the wedding, and I think that was the perfect response. And OP, you could be proud of yourself here. You stopped a terrible person from profiting off of their lies. There are people who will be directly harmed by this man's lies. It can ruin people's lives. So OP, good job standing up to this guy and making sure that he couldn't do more harm. Now OP, you also said you could have let him keep living the lie? No. Here's the thing, OP, you don't get to decide when someone stops being a bad person. This guy chose to be a bad person when he stole valor. That is 100% on him. And what he does moving forward is on him. But OP, you don't get to let him keep living a life where he can continue to hurt other people. You also don't get to let him keep living a life where he gets to profit off of his lies. So, OP, you don't get to decide when he stops being a bad person. He decided that when he chose to steal valor. And then OP, you also said, would it have been better if I confronted him privately? Absolutely not. Again, OP, this man chose to profit off of his lies. He chose to tell these lies. He chose to tell them to people. And as long as he continues to tell these lies, he deserves to be called out. And yes, that may hurt him. Yes, that may make him cry. But that is 100% on him. And this idea that somehow it's your fault or you're responsible for his feelings, no. He is responsible for his feelings. You're not responsible for those. What you are responsible for is making sure that you stand up against this terrible thing, and you did that. So OP, good job. Yeah, I'm giving my solid, keep going, OP. If your family doesn't understand that, then they need to take a good hard look at themselves and ask themselves why they would rather protect a liar than their own blood. So OP, you did the right thing, keep doing the right thing, and again, OP, good job.